quick one. Well, it's not going to be quick because it's going to be 10 minutes, right? Right. Great. Wonderful. Anyway, today I wanted to share with you some of the vines that I'm going to be trying to grow in the flower garden this year to give some nice height and visual appeal and interest and other things like that that people who garden say that you should have in your garden. So, why not give it a try for us also? I made an order from Sample Seeds. Here's what I've got. I've got cathedral bells, hyacinth bean. I have some Spanish flag. I don't know what the actual name for that is, honestly. I've just always called it a Spanish flag. Also have some azurina. Don't know. Not got a clue. Don't have a single clue. Also got some Love in a Puff vine, which I have grown before successfully, might I add you. We also got some Moonflowers. Those didn't come from Sample Seeds. They came from the dollar store. Also got some Morning Glories. And what else? I'm trying to think. Oh, I got some Black-Eyed Susan vines. I've never grown Black-Eyed Susan vines successfully either. So, let's get into this. I guess I'm gonna start some of these in my milk jug containers, my winter sowing containers, even though the weather has warmed up, so it's technically not winter sowing anymore. But I don't have any seed starting containers, so I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna write the name of it on the bottle. I'm gonna make sure to put some drainage holes in the bottle, cut it around the center, and put some potting mix in there. Make sure it's nice and moist. Put the seeds in and close it up and set it outside. Hopefully it will germinate. So exciting. I love growing vines. Vines are always just so pretty, especially if they thrive. I've grown a lot of vines in the past that did not thrive. Some of them seem to be more picky than others. Like, for example, I grew hyacinth beans last year, and I had them in a really shady spot, and they did not do well at all. Like, so I'm going to make sure my hyacinth beans are somewhere that gets a full-on hot sun all summer long this year. Anyway, just thinking about some of the, as I mentioned, I've grown Love in a Puff before. Those vines are so just small and delicate, but they're beautiful. That's another one. I don't really know the right growing conditions for it, honestly. The one that I grew last year, maybe it was the year before last, I don't even know, it was in kind of deep shade. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but it was kind of scrawny, and I'm going to make sure this year that I'm going to put some in shade, I'm going to put some in half shade, I'm going to put some in full sun, or, you know, as much full sun as possible with what I have to work with, because I really don't have that much full sun in my yard. I'm also going to amend this really well with a balanced, flower fertilizer. Make sure it gets enough nitrogen for the green growth. Make sure it gets enough phosphorus for, whatever else. I'm not an expert in that case. If I'm being totally real with y'all, I do the best I can with, my limited knowledge. So I'm going to try to grow a nice, healthy, vigorous plant with all these vines because really the only time I have like vines that are really nice are either something like vining squash, which take over the whole yard, or something like morning glories, which morning glories are pretty robust and have the tendency to take over places without much effort. So that's not really a gardening accomplishment. Like, I'm really good at growing morning glories. It's not really like a thing that people brag about because they can just take over on their own. So I don't know, we're just gonna try to get some awesome vines this year. Another vine that I'm really excited about is this azurina. I think there's a purple and a blue and a white. This is a mix, I believe, but don't quote me on that because I could be totally wrong. I have no idea how to germinate these, which is another reason I'm sticking them into the bottle. As I'm recording this audio, it's been about 4 days since I sowed these seeds, and I haven't noticed any signs of germination yet. So my hopes are actually like really low that this actually worked, because these seeds are teeny tiny. They're kind of like the size of snapdragon seeds, and I think these might actually be called vining snapdragons. Is that a thing? Don't quote me on that because I might have just made that up. That might be a total lie. I'd have to look it up. I'd have to go to the Sample Seeds website. If you've never ordered from Sample Seeds, I definitely suggest you check it out. The prices are really fair, and there's huge selection of flower seeds. It's where I get most of my flower seeds, because sometimes cut flower seeds are hard to find in small packages for a reasonable price. And you know, there's no bells and whistles. It's literally just a packet with the name of the seed on it. That's it. But if you don't mind that there's not a lot of fanfare with your seed packets, and I mean, I've never gotten seeds that didn't grow. So anyway, this isn't a sponsored video or anything. I just appreciate a good bargain, I guess. I don't know. Moving on. What else am I growing with these vines? Also growing some Spanish flag. Again, with the Spanish flag, as far as I know, I think Spanish flag is in the morning glory family, which I would expect to have taken over my yard. Again, total strikeout with the vines last year. I planted Spanish flag last year, and it looked absolutely pathetic. I don't even think I got one bloom. I didn't show you guys the vine because it was just like, this is embarrassing. I didn't even show you guys. It was there, kind of. But we're going to try to grow it again this year, and we're going to put it in full sun and see what it does. I really don't know where I'm going to put all these vines, but I'm going to do the best I can to find a place for them all, because I just love the idea of being able to grow flowers all over my fence to where you can't even see a fence. That would be the goal. Like, whoa, look at that fence over there. It's got flowers all over it. But it doesn't ever seem like my vision translates into real life. I don't know. How do you make a big, beautiful flower fence? Somebody tell me, please. Give me tips. Do you fertilize them better? I don't know what to do. Help me, please. Is it sunlight? Do they hate shade? Is it this shade thing? Do I need to work the soil deeper? Maybe I didn't work the soil deep enough. I don't know. I'm rambling now, but I really don't know. Also planting some hyacinth beans. I already talked about hyacinth beans. Black-eyed Susan vines, as I've already mentioned, these are completely new to me. I have no experience at all with black-eyed Susan vine. I've always seen them in a seed catalog, and I've always been really tempted to order them. But then at the last second, I'm just like, where am I going to put that? And then I don't. I know they're perennial in like tropical warm climates, you know, frost-free climates. I think they're a perennial and they get huge, but I know you can grow them as an annual. I just don't know how big they get when they're grown as an annual, and I don't know what to expect. Hopefully they will grow pretty vigorously and into some nice robust plants, but I don't know. Like the other things, only time will tell. Your guess is as good as mine. I just don't know. Hoping for the best as always. Last but not least, that I want to talk about in this video, I got some Moonflower. Moonflower is another one that I have never grown before, but I'm like super excited. I know that they're different than morning glories, even though I think they're in the same family, or they at least look alike. I know, how's this for a gardening channel? I'm like an expert, right? I'm not an expert. Don't listen to me. I'm just some person who likes to grow stuff. Anyway, my understanding is the difference is these bloom at night and open at night. And that would make sense because they're bright white, and that's kind of like reminiscent of, you know, things like different types of gourds that bloom at night, right? White flowers. I don't know. I'm just trying to make connections in my brain. I don't know. Am I right in thinking that these things are really fragrant? I haven't read anything about them. I've never seen them in real life. Most of these flowers that I grow in the yard, I have never ever seen in real life. So that's kind of the excitement of growing new stuff. Is just like, oh, what's this going to look like? Am I really going to really like this? Because that's kind of how I discover things. Before I started gardening, I was absolutely sure that I hated sunflowers. I hated them. I was like, oh, sunflowers. Why would you want to grow? And then I grew some, and I was like, oh, I love sunflowers. The same thing with oriental lilies. I used to hate oriental lilies. I would see them, you know, in a flower arrangement at the florist, and I'd be like, ugh, those things are nasty. I don't like those. But then I grew them for myself, and I could experience like the smell, the fragrance, and then I really loved them, and they became one of my favorite flowers. So for me, it really is important just to grow different stuff and experience growing different things and, you know, get a real kind of reaction to the stuff that I grow in my garden. Anyway, I'm ranting. That's about it for this video. Hopefully it was somehow helpful. I'm not quite sure if it was. If it was, be sure to subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you make new videos on the regular. If you do subscribe, be sure to hit that little bell. When you hit that little bell, it'll tell you when I put a new video up. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't feel like telling people that I uploaded a new video. So that's actually really important. Who knew, right? If you are growing any vines in your garden this year, be sure to tell me about them down in the comments. What are your favorite floral vines to grow in your flower garden? I would love to hear all about it. Do you have a favorite for pollinators, for birds, anything like that? Tell me all about your experiences, or if you have any germination tips for any of the flowers that I mentioned in this video. If you like this one, be sure to share it with your friends, all that good stuff. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Don't know if we can do it, probably can't, but we're going to try anyway. I hope y'all are having a great day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.